Team, we have to set our people up for success. Agreed. But how many times have you heard that? And how many times have you thought, but what does that actually mean? So in this quick video, we'll talk about 3 different times and ways you can set someone up for success. In the interview process, after they start, and after you give them performance feedback. In the interview process, how many times have you had someone start and said, this just wasn't a fit. I should have trusted my gut. But again, what does that look like? The interview process is a really key time to understand that candidates, things that are important to them, their skills and abilities, and how those match both what you're looking for and what you can offer. So in interviews, you may make assessments like, work-life balance is probably important to this person. They have young kids. But you can't know. So it's important to have these conversations rather than make assumptions or let things get figured out once someone starts. So as you talk to a candidate, being really upfront about what the job looks like. What is this person going to be expected to do on day 1, and what can they learn over time? It's really helpful to have these in the job postings so people can self-select a bit as they're applying to jobs. But as you talk to a candidate, talking about what that actual experience is like, and then being open about different things like work-life balance, because more and more that is important to employees that are carving out boundaries. Is this a position where that's realistic? Are there others on the team that can pitch in when someone's on vacation? Or is this a team of 1 where someone's really going to be on call during that time? It can be a helpful time to think through, is this really a good pace of life? Are we going to be able to attract those good candidates we want? Or does this job sound like one someone wouldn't really want? But thinking through what the position really is like, how you can shape it to make it more palatable, and talking to that employee so there's no surprises on day 1. There really shouldn't be surprises about their overall abilities or what they're looking for, and if that's what you're able to match. So ensuring that you're upfront about these things, the good things and the potential negatives. If there are people on the team or cross-functional colleagues they'll work with that are going to be calling them later into the night, letting people know so that they don't find that out after they've completed their mountains of new hire paperwork. So this is what setting someone up for success looks like, is talking very specifically about the realities of the job in the interview process before someone has to make a decision. And that includes things like salary and career pathing. The next is as someone starts. So this is a time where you've already set those expectations, but to go through what the company's overall purpose is or the organization's and how their role specifically ties into that, setting that message on day 1. And talking specifically about these are individuals you're going to meet with, and that at every step of the way, as someone onboards, having some of those introductory sessions, you give that person that type of information. This is how you're going to work with this person. These are some specific questions you may have working with them. Again, the employee hopefully will have some questions to ask, but a lot of people aren't going to know the background of your organization, or there may be things that they won't know how to ask. So helping them and giving them context around those conversations is what sets you apart from just letting the employee loose and holding their hand so much that they don't have the opportunity to have those conversations. So setting someone up for success is being very clear about how their role plays into the organization and what they need to be asking to different people so they can go out and build those relationships and skills. And the last is in performance management. So right now may be performance review season. Beginning of the calendar year can often be that. And oftentimes for managers, it can be a really stressful time to give that feedback and think about what to say. But one of the big gaps that people aren't set up for success is if they get that review and aren't told specifically what it would look like for them to get to the higher level or what they need to be doing or to have those opportunities. So for each of your employees, as you look through their level, from your best performers to the worst rated, to talk about very specifically what it would look like. And that doesn't mean comparing them specifically to other employees. Like, yes, Jane, if you were to be more like Jim, or oh, Jim, if you were to do this like Jane. But talking about specific behaviors, because you don't want to pit your team members against each other. But you can provide employees opportunities. If there's an employee that is more introverted and hasn't had the ability to develop skill sets, ways you can talk to that employee about things that they're strong at and give them avenues to make introductions to others so that they're thought of. Or other employees that don't know some of the important aspects of their role, having them shadow with different people and learn those skills. So always for every employee after performance planning, not only giving them the review, but walking them through what it would look like for them to get to the higher level and helping them have a plan that they can execute on with your support. Because while employees should take ownership of their careers, as a leader, things that you can do that don't take mountains of your time, but are really important, include providing ideas to help them to develop those skills and letting employees be the one and checking in on those. So if you've given someone and talked through a plan of how they can get to be successful, talking to them in your one-on-ones, what have you done against this plan? and reminding them that it's their career to own. And if they want to get higher performance ratings, there's things that they'll need to take ownership of, and you're there with them. These are each 3 specific ways to set someone up for success in ways that organizations may need to think of but don't always do.